There you go, folks. It's Axel. It's um, been a week. I'm here today to present a very special guest. I interviewed him 2 years ago, in 2022. So he's one of the content creator from One Great Network. So he's here. His name is Francesco Sani. A very knowledgeable guy. He's been doing a lot of stuff, been posting a lot of content on YouTube and other platforms. So, welcome, Francisco. How you doing today?
Well, Axel, thank you very much for having invited me on once again after a couple of years. Great to talk to you again.
Absolutely no problem. My pleasure. Um, Introduce yourself, maybe to the listener, to the viewers that they haven't. Some people may don't know who you are. So if you can introduce yourself again, and what do you think about the current situation of humanity? Your floor.
Well, as you said, yeah, I'm Francesco Sani. I've been been putting out material since about 2018 or 2017/18. More, with more effort since 2018, and started doing translations, but I also started a podcast, which I translated also because mainly it was in English anyway. So and I've been translating almost all of Mark Passio's presentations. Some of the James Corbett documentaries, and a few other videos here and there. But those were the sort of the main works or the longest videos that I've translated up until recently in September, that I finished with a very important lesson, I think, in occulted history, that is Two Masks, Same Face by Mark Passio. So that was my last endeavor, and now I'm on a bit kind of on a bit of a break from doing content, sort of an extended hiatus, if you will. But anyway, it's great to be here having been invited on a show. I can still open to be on people's shows if they want to. So it's great. Absolutely. And where do I see humanity? I mean, it seems it's really getting worse every day, right? It's we're not in a good place right now. Humanity is not in a very good state, and I mean, COVID probably made things worse because people thought there was some great awakening of some sort, but actually, I think it got even more people to be entrenched into politics. Many people have been brought especially to the right wing, even. If you think about Trump, after 2016, and now it's the same story. The same history repeating. People are falling for it once again. People here, especially here, there's in the alternative community, here in Italian, it's kind of a joke like the rest of the world, and many people are sympathetic to Putin, and they think he's gonna save the world with Trump. Maybe, we have a right-wing government in power, so some people are happy. They say, oh yeah, are happy that they defeated the communists that were in power during COVID, and now they think everything's gonna be fine. We just need to defeat the left, and and it really looks like, and when we are losing freedom at a very rapid pace here in Italy and in Europe, and Italy, it's a disaster. It's it's very shameful, and I mean the things that are happening now and things that are even this government have done. Yeah, we're really turning very fast into even more into a police state, which already was. I mean, Italy kind of has always been kind of a police state.
Yeah, everywhere pretty much.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
live in
and
the
in Europe,
UK. I'm from Italy as well. I was born in Italy. It's crazy. Wow. I've been in Italy probably a few months ago in Rome. It's unbelievable the state of mind of people there, in Rome. It's crazy, It's even in the UK now, if somebody even tries to express their own opinion, they shut down pretty much the freedom of speech. I spoke with Derek Bartolocelli, and he told me he lives in France, and he told me that Rumble is censored. Some of
yes.
the alternative platforms are censored in France, and even in Germany and other European countries. Wow.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, they've arrested the Telegram founder in France.
found the Russian guy, yeah, in France a
Yeah,
few months ago. Yeah, yeah.
who actually escaped from Russia because he didn't have free speech there. He went to France and got arrested. So
And they
no.
think people, all France, Russia, they're all enemies on the surface. That's what they want you to believe. It's all a show, folks. They're all bunch of tyrants, violent gangster fighting amongst each other. That's what government do. That's what wars are all about. All puppets. They control both sides. If you still don't get it, folks, I don't know what to tell you. You think the Russian government, Putin is really against the globalists, against the globalist hegemony? You have another thought coming, folks.
Yes,
They're all the
it's really,
same.
yeah.
Look at the Giuseppe Mazzini and Albert Pike letter,
Mm.
1871. They're telling you how they're gonna plan World War One, World War Two, and World War Three, folks. They control both sides. Okay, if you understand what government is, people they still unfortunately you see people once again they buy into the Hegelian dialectics or polarization. You see it in the alternative media. Oh, World War II. No, the Nazi were against the Allies. No, the Nazi was you see this so-called revisionist propaganda by the neo-Nazi, thinking that, oh
Mm.
my God, the Nazi were against the system. They were trying to, no, 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 folks. You don't understand anything. You need to do your deep research. They control both sides,
Yeah, I mean, and now it's,
financed by the
yeah,
international bankers and beyond.
and
The
now
economy
it's
of
like
the coast they
1984
want
now,
to
right?
spend.
It's we have the world divided into these mega continental blocks, and they're
Exactly.
fighting each other in Africa and the Middle East. So
Yeah.
it's exactly like 1984, if you will. So
Yeah. They want to create they want to destroy and remove. I would say destroy is the better word. The national state boundaries and create a block of super states. That's what they want to create, and so they can install fewer puppets and making decision making a lot easier than having so many auto determined nations and countries, because it's a lot harder for them to control the people. So the new world order that they want to create is they will move into it, because the current world order that we having is gonna be moving into a new world order, and we're gonna transcend to a age when they're gonna create a block of super states. That's what they want to do. Hunger Games Society, the movie, the Hunger Games talks about this, and 1984 from George Orwell as well. So yeah, folks, they control both sides. Look at what happened with Nazi Germany. All the Nazi that came into the United States and South America, part of Operation Paperclip. Look at the eugenics program. A lot of eugenics program founded by the Rockefeller family in Germany. Folks, in the United States and Britain, they were the bigger eugenicists as well. A lot of them they were big fan of the Nazi ideology, like Henry Ford, the big American aristocrats, and so on and on. People think, oh, the Allies were so much different than the Nazi. No, folks, the same ideology. They control both sides. It's very well planned and scripted, let's say. And everything it's planned to create a new world order. And to create a block of superstate nation, they cannot just pass legislation. They have to create worlds, big blocks of nations between um, a big fraction of nation. They are like the under of the globalist hegemony, and the other block of nation who are not under the globalist hegemony. That's how you get a dialectic in place. And
Yeah, so that's man's law for you. So
exactly. So what do you think about this?
oh yeah, as I said, I think we kind of already are in that position, and the national states are. I mean, the false dialectic is kind of the globalist versus nationalist, and people don't realize that it's really oppression and being under men's law and being under socialism ultimately, and neither of them gonna give you freedom, obviously, and the nationalist supporters are just ultimately kind of useful idiots that are gonna believe that a government is gonna make them free of the globalists, but as you said, it's actually a false dialectic. And the only thing like this supposed nationalist government are doing is just preparing and reinforcing the police state for the
Well said.
for the next takeover. So, I mean, here in Italy now, they passed some very draconian legislation, very anti-freedom legislation, and like to fight alcohol and drugs, because they say that too many people are driving while drunk or drugged, and they are causing accidents. And
Oh yeah.
so they also gonna have they've lowered the alcohol. They put it pretty much to zero if you drive. Before it used to be only professional drivers and people who just got their license for 3 years. They couldn't drink anything. Now it's pretty much everybody. And they're talking about like sending mobile vans on weekends to go around and kind of randomly check people who go outside or go out on the weekends for alcohol and drug use. So that's,
Unbelievable.
I mean, and
That's a
people
nice
don't think
slavery.
nothing of it. Like, really, it's, I mean, it's pretty outrageous. And yeah, they're talking about, again, since now we have like the right wing, they're more on the law and order side of things. So talking about like uh, giving even more powers to law enforcement. And all the people who are cheering for it, they're not realizing that at the next lockdown or the next thing they'll do, police are gonna have even more power. The state is gonna have even
Exactly,
more
which is
power.
ultimate. Yeah, people need to understand the social engineer, the Satanists, whatever you want to call them, globalists. They work through dialectics. Okay, that's how they manipulate people. They cannot just sell the mind control through a one choice. That's not how it works because people will see it immediately. They need to give false dialectics like globalists against nationalists. They both advocate for a system of slavery, period. Okay, still through government and rulership. Okay, the globalists, they want to take over more, they want to make the entire planet a zoo, a complete lockdown society, a prison lockdown society of planet Earth. The entire planet, they want to destroy the the concept of nations and national state borders. Okay, this the dissolution of that. So creating a block of super states. You
Well,
know.
I mean, you're not gonna be able to go anywhere outside, your 15 minutes
Yeah.
area. So, that's gonna be the
That's
border.
the plan, and they actually do it through dialectics. They're gonna supposedly control some nationalist governments who supposedly try to oppose the globalist agenda, but they're all part of the system. They're all puppets put in
They're
there.
just building the police. I mean, look at Trump. They're just building the police state for the next again for the next takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes,
People
it's
don't
kind of
want
a
to get.
dire.
They think, oh, somebody's against the system. No one is against the system. They're all the progeny of the cult that ultimately runs this planet. Whether Nazism, communism, doesn't matter. They're all violent totalitarians. Totalitarians. I mean, that's what they are. I mean, once again, people don't get it because they still believe in this false illusional authority vested in human beings called government, which does not exist. Government is not there to to improve the quality and the standard of living of human beings or people, or they're not your servant. People think, oh, the government is there to they're they're there to serve the people. No, that's the ostensible purpose. Okay, that's not the real. The purpose of government is to control the resources of that nation, to control the people and to enforce the rule upon the people of their own citizen, which is slavery. That's what slavery is. Okay, they claim body and ownership of their own citizen, which is what slavery is. Okay, slavery. That's what slavery is. You're a slave, and it's a form of slavery. It's slavery. That's what government is. The very word government means mind control. Comes from the Latin word gubernare mente. Gubernatio mente means to mind control somebody. That's what government is. They're there to control you and to enslave you, eh, to restrict your natural rights. Okay, that's what government acts. Okay, it's a restriction of people's natural rights. Every form of government. That's what rulership and the the concept of authority vested in human beings. Okay, what you think about that? Because people still don't understand this. What would you say?
No, it's difficult to make them understand. I'd say probably maybe a bit more people kind of caught up on the individual right concept. However, it's still extremely few, and the majority is still you know still ensconced in collectivism, really. So, and there's the big I think there's the big mind virus that we have, is this collectivism, this thinking about that there is such a thing as a mysterious, magical or mysterious collective that's an actual entity that has rights. And so you often see the difference. I mean, you see people talking about, individual rights are okay, but we also need, collective rights and something like that. And that's you already lost at that point. You still don't understand that there's no such thing as a collective right. That there's only individual rights, because it's only the individuals who exist and who compose a collective. And if you want the collective good, the only way really to obtain it is to respect and found
each individual,
to have a society that respects individual rights.
Exactly.
And as long as people believe in collectivism, which I don't care, how how they think about politics, or how they think about if we should have like minimal government or whatever. Ultimately it's still you're still giving up your sovereignty, your individual sovereignty. And even sovereignty is a concept that's very badly understood.
It means above rulership.
Yeah, but people think it's about having a nation, it's about national sovereignty.
Exactly.
Well, the nation, it's sovereign, and they don't realize that's a fallacy. There's no such. First of all, there's no such thing as you're not gonna be sovereign. It's it's the state that's gonna be your sovereign.
Your owner is a slave owner.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
So I mean, all these people that want protected borders and everything still don't understand that that's not really about being sovereign, being a sovereign individual. The things that you have a right to protect are your property. No, it's really your private property, beginning with your body, and then your possessions. So this whole thing about, again, we're talking about false dialectics. So this whole thing about having a government that will protect the border usually means that they'll give more power to the state and to law enforcement. So that's what it means. Already, like in the States, already border patrol already has got a lot of power. They already can not just patrol the border, but actually they can even stop people even farther away from the border. And it's called like a constitutionally suspended zone or area or something like that. That basically means that that they don't even have they can even, I guess, disrespect the traditional rights of Americans in that area, alongside the border and even further away from the border. So again, it's really a false dialectic. We're still talking about slavery, and we're still talking about the government becoming bigger and bigger, and a presence ever more destructive into people's lives and into their freedoms. So this is what people really need to understand. They need to, transcend all the political nonsense and really focus on learning, learning their true right, or what their true rights really are. And so, but it's difficult, it's difficult. We are not near, by a long stretch, we are not near the understanding of freedom, sovereignty, and rights.
I agree. We're much further beyond. People, it seems to the very naive and the communist take over the United States, the whole world. fascio-communist. That's the best way to describe it. It's been very successful, even in the United States. People, wow, people they buy a lot of nonsense. The dumbing down of the human population. It's been well, humans have been always dumb people. Okay, sadly, been always enslaved through government and rulership since the dawn of time. And the concept of authority, it's a fallacy. It's there to benefit the ruling class and enslave the so-called slaves called human beings. That's it. Subjects called human beings. That's what the idea of government is. Okay, it's meaning owning another individual. You need to think of rights as property. Property. All rights are property rights. You know, having government means that the ruler is claiming ownership of your own body. That's what government is, okay? Therefore, they're gonna do if somebody tells you what to do, what not to do, it tells you what you can use to protect yourself or what you cannot use to protect yourself and regulates what you can do, what you cannot do, what you can buy, what you cannot buy. Or you're a slave. That's what slavery is, okay? It means the restriction of your natural rights. That was by the coercion of your free will. Okay, that's why there is no such a thing. The concept of authority vested in human beings. It's a fallacy. It's gonna be always immoral. Period. Doesn't matter what. As opposed of authority of the creator of the universe, which is not the same as the authority of human beings, because the authority of human beings always will enslave the other being. They try to be the authority too. You know what I'm saying? And the authority of the creator of the universe is different because he allows free will. It's just you cannot escape the consequences. He allows free choice. You can choose good and bad. You cannot coerce your free will because that would be to enslave. You know what I'm saying? And man's authority does not do that. Man's authority does not allow free will. You know, this is what people don't
Exactly.
understand. That's
Yeah, it
why the
just
authority invested in human beings, it's always gonna be immoral to begin with. Always. Okay? Because if somebody allows 100% of free will without coercion, coercion means that your free will to make any choice it's been restricted upon. That's what
yes,
slavery is. That's what government, every form of rulership a government does. Period. Okay? Doesn't matter where right wing or left wing government, that's what every form of government rulership does. That's why they had to give you all these form of dialectics so people cannot see through this, you know? These tactics of manipulation, when in point of fact it leads to the ultimate goal, which is human slavery. What you think about this?
yeah, yeah, that's true. It's the old divide and conquer, and uh, and exploiting people's people's fears and manipulating their psyche. People have we know people have a fear, kind of an deep rooted fear in of some things, including like abandonment, and I think that's sort of the one of the biggest ones that it's exploited by the ruling class. So as just if you told to people as soon as you mention not having a coercion, I mean just that, it's like, okay, but who's gonna enforce who's gonna enforce the law against the ill-intentioned people?
The people has to.
People are afraid. We are in a kind of a state of infancy, immaturity, and we are afraid. We are afraid of what's going to happen in a state where there's more freedom, and that's a huge issue. It's not easy to overcome.
Yeah, that's what government. This is people. This fallacy in alternative media that instead of advocating true freedom and anarchy, they all want small government. They want a bunch of minarchists. They want still government to enforce the law. They still call for more police and protection. It's not understanding all of this are what's holding back the progress and the understanding of true freedom of human beings, of humanity.
Yeah, and I think they don't even want small government now. They're all waiting for a form of big government one way or the other. Like
Exactly.
If you support like people like Trump and Putin, you want big government.
Yeah, people think a government that Putin that Russia is somehow free, that the West is freer than Russia is freer than the West. That's more because of this woke nonsense happening. There's a lot of degradation of the Western society, which is true. But you think in Russia, yeah, this kind of has some moral values, which are not real moral values, which is what the culture and the government deem as moral for the people.
Yep.
Okay, that's what moral relativism is. Okay, as opposed to true morality and true rights and the understanding of true rights and the difference between right or wrong, which government does not respect. Okay, government wants what's right for you and what's right for them. Okay, that's
Yep.
the more relativism already in there. That's what government is. Okay, that's what
they want to have
it's immoral to begin with.
They want to have the moral high ground. Government always wants to claim the moral high ground, which doesn't have. And another thing, just think about how many people are now idolizing someone like Elon Musk, for example. He's a
technocratic elitist.
Yeah, he's a warmonger, and he has lots of contracts with the Pentagon and the Defense Department.
BlackRock, Vanguard, and
he's one of those people spying on you with all the satellites he's got up there. So
big tech, big government, big brother government. People they're very ignorant. They're very naive. Once again, they buy into the Hegelian dialectic of polarization.
They want to hope, they want to hope they still want to hope in a savior. They still want to, believe in fairy tales, in political fairy tales.
Exactly. They still don't understand that the political game is rigged. It's slavery. That there is a class of occult technocratic sorcerer. They are ruling the class. They comprise the worldwide satanic network of adherents everywhere. People think it's just Jewish people who run the government. They run the monetary. It's not. It's much deeper than that. Satanists are everywhere. Okay, they come from every cultural background, every cultural institution, and every single country throughout the world. The black people, white people, Muslim, Jewish, South American, Asian, every single country, every people in the position of power, every single country of every country of planet Earth are Satanists. You believe it or not. And the people that will run this planet, they don't want people to understand this. That's why they, once again, they work through dialectics or manipulation. Oh, there's a country who seemingly is against the globalist agenda. or immediately, oh no, you see, that guy is the good guy. No, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? It's just an evil tyrant who doesn't want to sell his country or give his power through people who want to take over all over the planet. He wants to protect and control his farm.
Yeah.
That's what is coming down to, and people very very unfortunately they seem not to understand any of this. They're very naive, you know. What would you say about that? That's what the geopolitical, uh, the so-called 3D geopolitical analysts still don't understand. They fall for the Hegelian dialectics.
Yeah, the people who explain the situation, the geopolitical situation on the news are terrible. It's so I hear. Yeah, I just heard that in Syria, the West, it's like that has nothing to do with the situation in Syria, for example. And I heard that from some people they invited on some news program, and I don't know how much money he gets to be there, but they're just telling you a complete lie. And yeah, so that's obviously you kind of have to do your own digging. Fortunately, there is people that at least can explain how the situation, how that side of the of the whole situation is working. However, again, it's important to know, but it's still sort of hitting the roots. I mean, hitting the branches of the problem, not the roots of the problem. So I think sooner or later we'll have to deal with the root cause of the problem, which is the belief in men's authority.
Exactly.
That they can dictate how your life will go and what they're gonna do with you and what you will have to do and how you'll have to obey, or otherwise you'll be in trouble. And people think that's organization, and that's not. You can do that. I think even it's not really anything utopian. Actually, it's with just more voluntary association, it would be possible even to fix many of the things that are going on right now. However, again, we'll need deeper understanding of this whole, of all these dynamics. Deep and profound understanding. It's not gonna be quick and easy. So ultimately, so
Absolutely.
yeah, we have a long road ahead of us, and honestly, I don't know if
Getting worse and worse. I
yes,
heard that California already passed the state of emergency already for what's coming. The you know what I mean. They confirmed the first case of a bird flu in the United States, in Louisiana, a severe one, and they're
okay,
talking about California already announced a state of emergency, like it happened 5 years ago with the C-19. So hey, but let's not talk about that because then they're gonna censor us. They're gonna say, "Oh, we talk about the V word."
right,
So just letting you know, folks, what's coming. It's gonna get worse and worse. Okay, people who think it's not real. Okay, good luck. You're not gonna like it when it's coming. People think, oh, nothing's gonna happen, especially people here in Europe. I had many conversations with people when it comes to firearm and self-defense. They're very mind controlled. 99% of people in Britain here in the UK, man, especially in Europe, they are very domesticated animals. To be quite frank, That may sound harsh. I'm not trying to say it like in a mean way, but it's true. They don't have the concept of self-defense. Many other countries, continents like Africa, South America, Asia, they do. Although they don't have, um, I would say, like they have very strict gun policy in many countries. But hey, they don't care. They still come out with guns if necessary. They don't. People don't really care about manslaughter in some cases. But here in Europe, they're very domesticated. They don't have. They got their balls clipped off, cut off. That's they're not man
Yeah,
enough. You know,
yeah, we're a bunch of
compared to the United States and other countries.
yeah, we're a
People,
bunch of domesticated beasts in Europe.
sadly, people say, "Oh, we're gonna." When it comes here, when it's already here, when they're gonna come with lockdowns and restrictions,
They
and you
just
think
obey. They just
you're
obey
not gonna
again.
do nothing about it because you ain't not. What are you gonna do? Yeah, the police don't have guns here, but they have the army with machine guns. What are you
But
gonna do?
they do too in England anyway. They're much more armed now than before. The police.
Yeah,
When I went to when I went to London, I remember I've seen a lot of armed cops. So it's interesting. It's way more than before. It was very rare before to see a kind of a aggressive cop or armed cop in the UK, and
they
that was
don't
a facade
understand.
also because ultimately, you know, it's not that it was some golden age back then, but yeah, yeah, they're going toward more and more authoritarianism and more police powers. And I mean, people laugh when I say that we're gonna have robots and drones patrolling the streets in a while.
People think, oh, no, that's not true. Look at what's happening in the United States with
It's
the
already
drone.
happening, man.
It's already robots, dogs already. They're gonna spray fire to people. There's a YouTuber, famous YouTuber. He showed a video of him. I think he purchased a robot dog from China, and he was giving him command, and he asked him to bark, and they, they when the YouTuber asked him to bark, he was spraying fire at him. Fire, actual fire. He had to run away. This is what's people think it's a joke. What's 5 years from here and now? It's gonna get a lot worse. Not to mention that we're on the brink of World War III, and it's happening. Look at the military exercise throughout Europe. Talking about NATO troops in Russia and Ukraine. People think it's all a joke. People, you won't be laughing when it's happened. Okay? It's not gonna be like in the movies, okay? It's not gonna be a joke. I'm getting prepared. I'm trying to buy some backup food and materials because I know what's coming. When they're gonna cut the lights off, people are gonna be panic. When they're gonna cut the internet off, already an EMP attack. They don't even need to do all these asymmetric warfare. All they gonna do is launch an EMP attack, EMP weapon, electromagnetic pulse weaponry,
Yeah.
destroying the satellites. And look what's gonna happen. Look, they destroying the power grid. Power,
Yeah, I
power.
think we are already. It's been a while that we were in World War III.
Of
You
course,
know,
few
it
years.
has been a multi front type of warfare, not less an information warfare uh, and a propaganda warfare.
Exactly. And they're winning. They're successfully. They're brilliantly. I mean, I don't understand what they're waiting for to make an even overt. Because I know people won't do nothing. They're gonna do some protests, some riots, and man, that's it. nothing much, because they don't understand the root causal factor that is leading to that, which is government and rulership. The concept, like we talked about a few minutes ago, the concept of authority vested in human beings, which is an immoral thing, which is slavery. What would you say?
Yeah, I think we said it already. Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way we are headed. It's not, it's not gonna be pleasant. It's not gonna be good. And as you said, people have no idea. I don't think people have any idea, really. But hey, apart from doing what we can, I don't know what else to do. So
I'm quite frankly, I'm challenging my rage and anger, frustration of people when I do videos or interviews, because that's all I can do. Because people won't get it, they're never gonna get it. It's gonna get worse and worse every day. You know what I say?
yeah, definitely for the short term, short medium term, I think it's we are heading into very dark times. I can't really speak for the long term, for the long run, because I can see that, can't really say what's going to happen far into the future. But as for this short medium term, yeah, it's we are in a very dark situation and dangerous, very dangerous situation. And the government has already said that you don't own yourself. We own you, and we can come into even to your body, with various things. We can decide, like again with medications, and we can decide, if we can go around as they want to do here, go around everywhere, checking people if they have drank some alcohol or used drugs.
Yeah,
And,
taxation,
and
prohibition.
people should be responsible of their actions. And if they do something wrong, they should be accountable for their actions, even if whether they are under the influence of substances or not. But whether you consume something and you don't do damage to any other person or being, then that's your business.
Exactly. It's sad. It's sad to hear that people, they seem to be okay to be enslaved. You know what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
I mean, I want to tell you this. Um, I've done a few public talks or presentations now. Two in 2023 and one this year. So I had the occasion to sort of see, for myself in person, the state of some of the alternatives, some of the people that think, in an alternative manner, so to speak, part of the alternative community, let's say. And in those cases, it wasn't really political, but they don't get it.
They're very egotistical and very ignorant in many cases.
Whether it's politics or economics, or just I mean, in the case that I experienced, it was mostly new age or nonsensical beliefs, and they don't get it. Like very few among the people with whom I interacted in person seem to sort of have a grip, get a grip of what's going on. But I said most 99.9% of them, it's they either have new age beliefs or some other nonsensical idea or theory or believing. I hear a lot now. People think they're gonna we're gonna escape the matrix, and the hologram is like gonna collapse, or or other or other absurd stuff. So they're not really grounded in reality. So it's kind
That's
of
exactly what it is. Yeah.
yeah. So whether you talk to so-called normies or many of the alternative of people who are into alternative ideas, it's not
They're
a good.
very ignorant. Yeah, they
Yes,
still don't.
it's
Yeah, look how many people think taxation or prohibition. It's like moral. Not understanding that taxation is human slavery. They say it's theft. It's slavery. That's what taxation is, folks. If somebody tells you that what you comes to claim your earning by force, okay, claims the fruit of your labor by force, you're a slave, okay? If it happens voluntarily, which means contribution, it's freedom, okay? If somebody coerce you to pay taxes, you're a slave, you know?
yeah. But again,
Once again,
people are
prohibition,
afraid. People
same
are
thing.
afraid. They think it's gonna be. They think society is gonna collapse if
So
without
be it.
without this system, and it's actually society is collapsing now. So I mean,
Exactly.
uh, again, it's hard to navigate all the nuances of the human psychology and to make people understand these concepts when they all their lives they've been told, they've been indoctrinated, or they believed something else. So it's a it's a tough it's a tough job. It's a tough endeavor.
Oh, absolutely. I would actually agree with what you said. Yeah, there's people they're quite naive and they still don't understand the causal factor. It's a sad state of affair, you know. Um, I would say, look, I think we had a bigger chance in the 2020. Okay, when people started to a little bit open their eyes about the system they're living in. I think it took a C19 to happen for people to a little bit understand what government is trying to do and their long-term agenda, but people still don't understand it. Then they're still stuck in politics, dialectics. They still don't understand the difference between right and wrong, the objective difference between right and wrong. They don't understand the occult manipulation. They don't understand who runs this planet. They think it's just a group of people. It's just the Jews. It's just the Vatican, the Jesuits. It's just the bankers who run everything. Hitler this, Stalin this.
Yeah, because
It's not
there's a
a
lot of
big show, folks. It's a
yeah.
system you will living. It's a very well intelligently constructed. Okay, everything, every single aspect in our life is controlled. Okay, we are
Yeah,
slaves. People don't want to hear that. They think it's just one aspect that we need to free, that we need to understand that we're gonna have freedom. No, folks, these people are not stupid. They're occult psychologists, dark
yeah, and
psychologists. That's what these people are. That's what Satanist is.
oh,
What
they
would you
definitely
describe the ideology of Satanism and the dark occult?
they definitely know the human mind very well. And uh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, yes, there's a lot of noise there's a lot of noise surrounding the truth. So even if people sort of wake up to certain aspects of the system of control, and that they are, that they are being scammed, and yeah, and they have been tricked. However, they sort of it's difficult to expose them to the right sort of information that they need because of all the noise that usually surrounds the truth. So you have all the alternative media making a bunch of noise, and all other people, all these other, these other gurus of dissent, as I call them, that that talk about freedom when actually their philosophy it's kind of based on authoritarian and statist philosophies. So, and those are the people who are, those are the people who get listened to, and the things that are trending online among the, in the alternative community. So
Yeah, it's frustrating.
most of the alternative community thinks that the state is that more state is the solution.
Yeah, more government, big brother government, the big God.
Ultimately, it's what they believe in, because they've been exposed to all this corrupted information that maybe they just talk about like, oh, it's all kind of a corporate scam, and we need the government to to act in the name of the people and for the people and give them free services, healthcare, transport, healthcare especially, and stuff, and social security. And they don't understand how it is. It's,
because the conceptual idea of government is to control. You're not gonna have
exactly
a free stuff in a controlled society where there's a government, a rulership, a system of slavery and control. It cannot happen. You're gonna actually live in a, like I said, in an anarchical society. Anarchy simply means no rulers, okay? Anarchons, from the Greek anarchons, no rulers, no rulership, meaning no slavery, freedom, okay?
yeah, and
And
even that people, especially now, also again in Italy, it's there's a very heavy campaign, talking about how the anarchists are there's all these anarchist groups, supposedly anarchists group that
fake
are
that.
running around smashing windows and beating up, fighting with the police and assaulting police, and and the media obviously is saying, oh, the more dangerous of these groups are the anarchists. Like, so everybody's even more scared of this term. And I mean, there's probably people among them, who there's many so-called anarchists that are actually fake anarchists.
Plenty of them. This majority of the anarchists are fake anarchists.
Oh yeah,
There are
mostly.
some good.
Yeah, mostly they are collectivist communists.
Yeah, a lot of them are fake anarcho-communists. The contradiction itself. There is no such a thing as anarchist communists. Does not exist. Or anarchist capitalists as well. Neither of them. It's still slavery, capitalism, or anarchism. Communism. Anarchist communists and anarchist capitalists are believers in slavery. They're not real anarchists, okay?
Yeah, plus I believe that many of these groups are actually are heavily infiltrated by law enforcement. So
Yeah, and by the agent of the states, they are financed by the occultists, by the Satanists, by private agency. They are controlled by the Satanists and think tank organization and beyond. It's a sad state of affair, sadly. I know myself. I don't know even know what to say because wow, when I see all of this nonsense that I see on social media, the neo-feminist agenda, how women are being programmed, people talking about in so-called social media influencers, not understanding the mind control, dialectics, and social engineering Um, Not understanding, yeah, why women and men think the way that they are because they live in a system of slavery. And not only that, it's well socially engineered by the power structure, by the Satanists and the dark Luciferian who are ultimately running this planet, okay? All this, read the books, The Satanic Witch by Anton LaVey and his daughter. They're telling you the neo-feminist agenda, where it comes from. It's Satanists putting the neo-feminist agenda out there. The neo-feminist agenda, believing that women are superior to men, that women don't need men. They believe that this society that we live in is controlled by the patriarchy, by the patriarchy. When in point of fact, it's an occultocracy that's running this planet, comprised of
Yeah,
men and women,
yeah. And if you think about it,
occultists, dark occultists, and Satanists,
yeah,
and sorcerers.
and
All
if you
these
think
things.
about and if you think about it, it's if they really if you really are against the patriarchy, you should be against against the state and against man's authority in the first place,
Exactly.
because that it's not a literal uh, it's not literally a patriarchy in the sense that men are evil and women should do without them. It's more symbolic, of the left brain, material dominance
Exactly.
and thirst for power, you know. So that's what it's really about. And if people understood that, they really be against government, against the state, not against men, you know.
Yeah, which is sad. People in the social media platform, influencers, like I said, the agents of the gatekeepers. They're all controlled and put by the Satanists. They are industry plants. That's the better word to describe them. They're industry plants, a lot of them. Okay, a lot of them are cowards. A lot of them, all they care about money and viewership. Okay, the gatekeepers, they're not there to actually educate the people. Okay, they want a fan base. That's what they want, you know. And they're controlled by the power that be. Okay, they're not gonna tell you the government is slavery. They're not gonna talk about the actual moral issues. There are, unfortunately, widespread in the society that we live in. They're gonna talk about a lot of nonsense. You should make this amount of money. Material stuff is the all important. Yeah, sure, it can create some ease in your life, but it's not just that. You know what I'm saying? What would you say about that?
Yeah, I would agree on the so-called influencers. Yeah, as I said, definitely they're there to muddy the waters, you know, and to confuse people. And again, I told you that, I mean, here I've looked a bit more into the people here in kind of in the alternative realm, in the Italian alternative realm, and it's I think most of it's a disaster.
Yeah, I would agree. A lot of the Italian alternative news, it's a lot of nonsense. A lot of them are supporter of the United States, the globalist hegemony, and the so-called radical chic of the right-wing faction. Once
Mm.
again, they all support Donald Trump, not understanding they're all puppets of the political game. They have owners, okay, beyond the deep state, the international bankers, and the Satanists who control all this institution or the power structure beyond, and it goes to organized religion and beyond to a priest class. That's what I would say.
Yeah, there's some libertarians, which are very very few in Italy especially, and they're kind of they support they support Trump. They see him with favor.
Yeah.
You know, Trump, and now the Argentinian president Javier Milei. It's another one of these heroes of the resistance against the globalists.
Yeah.
And he's he's a supporter of Israel. He's
exactly.
He's a supporter of Israel. He has already armed. Has already gave some equipment to Zelensky. To Ukraine. So I mean, if you're a supporter of Trump and Israel, you're not a libertarian, dude. Like, you don't abide by the non-aggression principle, by default. So I don't care what they say. I don't care if they think this is fighting the socialists or communists or. I don't care if he says something good about some economic aspect. He's still, he's still an asshole.
Yeah, he's still a statist. Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame that people still don't understand this. It's a shame. And yeah. Do you want to talk about something else? Do you want to add anything else?
I don't know. Not really. If you had something else you wanted to talk about, yeah, you can go ahead.
And what would you think about, let's say, we talked about what you think about the infighting in the freedom movement. Why is that? Yeah, we talked about, a lot of people, they're not all the way there in the freedom movement. They don't want to hear the causal factors. Why are they that egotistical? Let's say, because there's a lot of infighting in the freedom movement when it comes to certain dynamics of how freedom actually works.
Yeah, that's true. And again, I think most people don't understand what that's really about. Then there's a lot of, might be because there's a lot of ego involved, and people don't want to admit that they're wrong. And then there's maybe the fact that people don't want to lose viewership and possibly income. And then there's people who want to, who want to see, that their stuff being better than, their material being better than some other person. So they, so that generates infighting, and then there's people coming up with new, like all sorts of new crazy new or old crazy theories. There's a lot of that too, and there's a lot of nonsense. Really, it's
a lot of.
That's why people don't take us seriously.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of nonsense going on. Just think about flat Earth.
There was a YouTuber, I think he went to Antarctica, and he was a flat earther. He went with another YouTuber who believes that the Earth is a globe, and he was disproven right. The global YouTuber who believes the Earth is globe. He proved. How can I say? The flat earther YouTuber, he was proven wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because he understood that the earth is not flat. He himself, he went to Antarctica. I think he spent like 40 grand to visit Antarctica, and he saw it. The sun is a 24 hours sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's one of the most, one of the most easily disprovable crazy theories out there. And yeah, then there's people believing in 5D ascension or whatever, and like all this crazy nonsense, and that's why people don't take us seriously.
Exactly. I said.
People think that we are a bunch of quacks. So they don't listen to you, even if you have some fundamental information that will better, their life and and the whole situation.
Exactly. Oh my God. The nonsense that I see every day on the alternative media. Look how
There's a lot of people
bad.
want to waste a lot of, people waste a lot of time. People waste a lot of time following all this nonsense because they think they're gonna have some shortcut, to freedom or whatever. Sign this magical, somebody came up with this, found out in the archives that we are owed billions of dollars. So now if you just say that your legal name is not written with capital letters, so you write your name with all lowercase, you're gonna be free, and they can touch you, and
A lot of nonsense.
there's a lot of bullshit
Actually,
going around, man.
crap.
People want the shortcut to freedom, and you're not gonna get the shortcut to freedom. You're not gonna get there by all these nonsense shortcuts and nonsense ideas. Get serious, get real. There's work. It requires hard work.
Absolutely.
You're just wasting time with this stuff.
I fully agree. In great agreement with what you said. People they think they want freedom through the system of slavery, through government. That's what people want. They want to achieve freedom through the maintaining of the system of slavery called government. They want to use the legal system, manslaughter, to achieve freedom. When in point of fact, that is the problem. That's the very problem.
Yeah, or do
We need to
this,
destroy that.
yeah,
But
do this quantum formula, and then the hologram will crash, and you'll see the real world and freedom, and people need to get a high dose of reality injection. Yeah, that would be a good injection to have high dose of reality.
yeah, it's a shame. I think this piece is what's coming for humanity is gonna it's a locomotive on its way. Not even a jaw or fist. It's a locomotive,
Yeah,
even much bigger than that.
freight
An
train.
avalanche of snow from a mountain. you know,
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Yeah.
a lot worse than that. The nonsense. The people in the freedom movement look at Beat Shoot or band video or
God
Odyssey.
damn. I went away from. I canceled my BitChute account.
Same.
First of all, because it wasn't working, and then because there's trash in there's just so much trash in
Pure
there. So
shit.
much trash
The
people in
pure
there.
nonsense. I mean, even you would think that in the social media platform, and the big social media platform, there is a lot of nonsense and degeneracy. But even BitChute, it's even worse than that. It's the continuation of the degeneracy that we see in big social media platforms.
Yeah, and I still
A lot
use.
of racist.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
a lot of crap. I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
BitChute is highly, full of racist people. And I'm not just saying, all racist because you said something that I don't agree with. No, they're actually racist. They're real racist people.
A lot of eugenicists.
Yeah.
A lot of neo-Nazi, a lot of neo-communist.
And Rumble is terrible too. It's like a Trump fest in there. I receive emails from Rumble, talking about how Trump and Elon are gonna make things great. And I wanted to cancel, get away from there also, but really, apart from Odyssey, it's the only other alternative platform that works at least, and some more people use that in Italy. So I said, for now, I'm kind of staying, but I don't like it.
Yeah, me neither. I think it seems like human beings, they love to be enslaved. They love to be slaves, which is frustrating. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because
yes.
it doesn't have to be that way. We have the free will choice. People say, "Oh no, the elite are very powerful," and all it comes down to is the fear of death and cowardice. If a species, a society are very cowards to stand up for themselves and to fight for freedom, you're gonna be a slave. Period. That society is gonna be an enslaved society. Period. And because of that, these people, these so-called elitists, they are the elite of nothing. That's what the elite. That's what they are the elite of. They are the elite of nothing. Okay. They're nothing. They're very powerful. They're tough guys. The old white farts that you see, bunch of old men. That's what these people are. They're very tough. They because they have the police, the minute they control everything, and because they give the house slaves a pittance to them, and they, yes sir, they obey the command, and they do whatever they've been told to do. That's why they're that powerful. They're willing because they're cowards. Once again, they're fearful of is going to happen to them, to the flesh. They're not willing to stand up for themselves and say no to them, no to evil. That's why we're in a slave society. Look at what they're doing to children, the pedophile satanic network. You think because these people are able to do what they do, raping children, doing uh, all kind of abuse and pedophilia to children and child sacrifice and worse than that, because they're so powerful, because the police and the military and the private army and the intelligence agency are their puppets. They're not willing to say no to the evil, to the money that is being given to them. The pedophile that they are. They're protecting child molesters and pedophile. That's what they're doing. And that's what people who believe in government and the legitimacy of the system that we live in are. They're supporter of pedophile and child molester and pedophile. That's what your owners are. Okay?
Yeah, it's what I try to especially here to many right wingers. I tell, well, you complain a lot about what the previous government did, during the lockdowns, but who you saw there, asking, these older people or for their green pass to board, the buses or trains, who have you seen, harassing people that were, jogging on the beach or going around when there was the curfew. That there you saw the ministers and the prime minister going there. No, it was your beloved cops and soldiers.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They say, oh, but they have to obey it.
Then you have it. Then you have slavery. Sorry.
Yeah,
Then you have slavery.
they don't. Yeah, it's and even if these in-person events that I've participated, that I've talked, that I've talked to, where I've talked, when I talk about all other followers, again, many people were saying, no, that's not true. It's still, the more morally culpable is still the order giver.
No, it's the people who are doing this shit. That's it. They don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear because they have a friend, they have the relative who's, they wanna kiss up to them, so they don't want to hear it. And because they have some people was in their movement, in their nonsense movement, they have some that are from the military and the police. So they don't want to hear the truth about the whole order following dynamic. And even the people here who voted for the right wing because they were angry against the government that imposed the lockdown and everything else. First of all, they don't remember that everybody in politics agree with the lockdowns. Yeah, then after a while they had to have the opposition who are currently in power, become against all of a sudden, and critical all of a sudden, to sort of give the release valve to the people. However, they don't, and then these right wingers are all for supporting law enforcement, without question, and when you just remind them, who imposed the lockdown, who imposed all the things that you didn't like.
Exactly.
They say, oh well, it was the previous government. No, it was the police. It was the police and the military in the case of Italy, because there was also the military that was utilized. So, but, and they don't want to hear it. But that's the truth. It's like, there would be nothing again. There would be nothing without their order, without their dogs. Their attack dogs. Oh.
Yeah, I fully agree with what you say. It's a sad state of affair. Like I said, even in the United States, people, oh, Biden did this, they lock. No, no, no. First of all, Trump announced the national lockdown, okay? Two, he was the one who was behind Operation Warp Speed for the V, for the V word. I'm gonna say the V word. You know what I mean? Okay, behind that thing, that you okay. That's what I'm gonna stop. Okay, and then later Biden, it was the lockdowns and the restriction were enforced at the federal level in each state. But at first there was a national lockdown, and your daddy Donald Trump did that. Okay, so once again, you see a lot of Trump supported a bunch of know nothing and cowards who won't say that. That would be saying with the Joe Biden supporters, the so-called leftists as well. Both of them, bunch of clown and cowards as well. No?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's but a great talk, a great chat. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think I'm good for today.
Yeah, we
We had
spoke a lot of things. Great, though.
Great chat.
So you want to quick tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your material online?
Well, I send them to my website if anybody's interested. That's monarchiainteriore.com. If you'd leave a link, they'll see they'll see it. So yeah, that's my website. I've got my material there, and again, the website it's in Italian, but again, as I said, I have many of my episodes and are in English with subtitles. So even if you're not Italian, I think you can understand most of it. So yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Great interview. Um, it was a great interview. It was a pleasure to talk to you. It's been almost more than 2 years we haven't done an interview.
Yes.
And great stuff. Great stuff. We talk about great things. We're gonna catch up. We'll do probably another interview in the near future because you always bring great insights and arguments.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, be a pleasure to be there again. So
Absolutely, no
thanks
problem.
for inviting me.
No problem. No problem. I'm gonna wrap up the recording now. Let me.